Bonnie Norton exhibits construction of identity as multiple, conflictual, and changing in an individual. I apply her view to real-life experiences in a deaf and hard of hearing person. For instance, one can be identified as deaf or hard of hearing since he is a member of the deaf and hard of hearing community and converses fluently in American Sign Language, as well as a professional having a career business, or a parent, or possibly a student at an academic institution. One of the identities I wish to point out in the deaf and hard of hearing individuals from personal facts is the assumption of our inability to acquire language through both the educational and social resources for learning in a mainstream educational environment. In my experience, as well as my brother and our friends' friends, we acquired English through speaking. Our identity was that we were either deaf or hard of hearing. We were students in mainstream schools, and many of us were members of hearing families at home. The educators, administrators, and the peers in our school perceived us as unable to successfully accomplish what was expected of us academically and socially, simply because of our inability to grasp spoken language, or simply put, we were seen as disabled. So we had our identity in language and culture, hence we often had our socials and conversed through sign language to help each other on what we had missed in classes, shared our pains and gains, and to socialize amongst ourselves as a deaf and hard of hearing community. We longed to become successful, but that success developed rather very slowly. A particular issue of inequality in the education environment was not recognized because we didn't have the privilege to converse in American Sign Language, nor were ASL interpreters employed. We were forced to speak and to listen with our ears or lip read, which was nearly impossible. I draw on an important matter pertaining to cognitive and interpersonal deprivation, which E.C. Clymer explained that the hearing, the majority of the population, made the deaf and hard of hearing, the minors, believe he is inadequate to develop literacy skills. It was not about the lack of motivation to learn, but it was truly about the problematic situation pertaining to the deaf and hard of hearing, feeling oppressed by the Hearing Society on communicating and that degraded self-perceptions within the minds of the deaf and hard of hearing, and unfortunate disturbances of emotions between the deaf and hard of hearing, and the hearing is evolved. One point that is of great importance is in relation to recognizing motivation, value, and identifying the deaf and hard of hearing learners is capital investment. I reflect particularly on Bourdieu's notions of capital as a means of a powerful framework to better comprehend the learning processes in social and educational arenas. There are many types of capitals, but one item of focus referring to this is embodiment of knowledge or skills. Value is defined by individuals in terms of multiple identities in various aspects in both social and academia. Depending upon how one invests in or values the acquisition of languages, English or American Sign Language, I believe that with one individual at a time could, with possibilities, find success in both the quality and equality of education and the deaf and hard of hearing individuals' personal lives and the hearing community. The hearing community would benefit having acquired some facilitative skills in ASL to bridge the gap of communication.